My name is Raul Rodriguez, and welcome to my usability video for the instructional design project in our 5318 course. Let's begin. So who conducted the usability testing? Who were the ideal testers? And how could you improve this in the future? The usability of my course was conducted by 5 individuals. The first, Ms. Carrie Garnica, a fellow 5318 student. She previewed my course during the early stages of development and then once it was complete. She and I emailed back and forth, and she provided written notes of some suggestions and some affirmations. She was an ideal tester because she too has an adult learning course as her project. Her insight was useful and made sure I included components in my modules that would foster collaboration, and I'm thankful for her. My second tester was Mrs. Myrna de Leon, who is a family member. Mrs. de Leon has never used the learning platform Google Classroom. Her usability test was more informal, as I was merely looking over her shoulder while she navigated through the course. After she accepted the course invite, she did have some difficulty navigating the structure of Google Classroom. After she landed on the classwork page, she was able to click through the introduction and preview some of the module work. I considered adding a new to Google Classroom section based off of some of her struggles, but I ultimately decided not to. It didn't make much sense to house the tutorial inside a system in which you need to access that system. So I figured the fact that she was, not used to using computers and technology too much, that I think the project would be okay without it. The next 3 usability testers are what Wenger calls the community of practice. They are work colleagues with whom I learn from and alongside every day. Mr. Juan de la Rosa is the first. He's a veteran educator who is no stranger to Google Classroom. He provided a written response to his user test. Navigating the course, of course, was no issue for him, and his comments and suggestions focused on the data analysis module, which is module number 2. My biggest takeaway was to include a finished data analysis sheet for students to reference as a possible finished product, of which I did include this after taking a suggestion. Being a teacher that uses student data to provide timely and directed instruction for improvement, I highly valued Mr. De La Rosa's comments and suggestions, and he is an ideal tester for my course. Next, we have Mr. Homer Colunga, who is a dean of instruction at one of the high schools in my district. He is a student data analysis expert, and his opinion and review of my course would prove to be very beneficial. Mr. Colunga provided a written report of his usability test. One of the significant changes I made to my course was to improve the campus improvement module, which is module number 1. Mr. Colunga mentioned the value of having a sample CIP, which is in here in the TEACS portion of it. He mentioned that not just asking, because I had previously just asked students to bring their own CIP, have examples of their school. He mentioned having a sample where they can actually look at, and perhaps some of the students don't have any experience even dealing with CIP or even know where they can find it. So, and again, he's an ideal tester due to his extensive subject matter in this course and his experience with Google Classroom. The final member of my community of practice is Mr. Villarreal. He's an instructional coach also in my district. He too is an expert on student data analysis. I was fortunate enough to have Mr. Villarreal provide a screen recorded session of his user test, and he also provided a written summary of his findings. I was able to see, the process of him navigating through it. He was talking out loud, asking questions, which was very beneficial and helpful. Being a longtime user of Google Classroom, navigating through the course provided no difficulty for him at all. I did gain insight from obviously him progressing through the modules. And here's a sample of something he included in his written statement. The timeline you have in Google Classroom has important information needed for students to understand what a CIP is and how data is part of the process. The layout of the students responding to other students is a great idea. It provides an opportunity for open-ended feedback. The portion of the activities that elicit an open-ended response and then submit to the teacher is logical and intentional. And I thank Mr. Veria for giving of his time and his expertise. How did the learning platform affect testing and results? As mentioned previously, most of the users were familiar, with Google Classroom. Therefore, it's possible that their experience was slanted more favorably because they've used it plenty in their everyday work. I did, however, include the one user who had never used it, and that did give me some insight into what it would look like for someone outside of the K-12 world, and it did help me shape the course. What lessons did you learn from the feedback? I learned that my navigation needs some streamlining and ease. My instructions were too vague and unclear at the beginning. The first version of my course was not directed at my target audience, which are educators just graduating and have limited experience with student data. I was able to revise my instructions for them to be cohesive and easier to follow. What changes did you make? I did give some examples already, and when I addressed each user, there were things that I learned and changes I made. How did this process improve your course? The process of collaboration and getting feedback from the testers made my course better overall. It made it more meaningful, it made it more beneficial, and I was able to make the content more relevant to my target audience. How did testing affect the alignment of the outcomes, activities, and assessments? At first, my course was all over the place. Taking the suggestions from the test subjects and the results, I was able to adjust and align my course objectives. I revamped my module activities to be more meaningful and to practice skills that my target audience can use. How will I address infrastructure and support needs? I address infrastructure needs by utilizing a widely known learning management system, Google Classroom. Ease of use and course content delivery are positives. I ensured all content is accessible on multiple devices. All file formats are compatible. Support needs to be met by providing a method to discuss the modules and have a collaborative feel, which I did include. The Google Classroom does provide timely communication in forms of alerts to the instructor and an easy mechanism to provide feedback from learner to instructor and from learner to learner. My reflection, I appreciate what this class and the process of creating this course design gave me. I started out very hesitant and unsure of what to base my course on. After my initial plan and course rollout, I used the early feedback to make changes. I feel that the test feedback and suggestions made my course better, more relevant to my target audience, and overall, I feel I designed a course that can help teachers improve student achievement. Thank you.